the news tonight. Ondo government engages stakeholders for successful second phase NCARES program. Women groups in Ondo State urge more prayers for Governor Akeredolu. ASU faults NUC designed curriculum, says threat to quality university education. And from the foreign scene, United Nations Security Council votes on ending peacekeeping mission to Mali. Good evening and thank you for joining us on the news tonight. My name is Timile Falade. As part of activities heralding the commencement of the second phase of Ondo NCARES program, a sensitization has been held with officials of Akure South local government area. The Ondo CARES, a derivative of the Nigeria COVID-19 Action, Recovery and Economic Stimulus and CARES program, which is to help vulnerable Nigerians, particularly business owners, is championed by the State Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperative Services and other stakeholders. Osrc Sahid Aribisala reports that the federal government recently conferred Ondo State government with an award and certificate of achievement as the best performing NGCare state in the Southwest.
The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic did not just pose a serious health challenge across the world. Its effect was resounding on the economic prosperity of nations. Several businesses closed shop while others struggled to remain. The situation was no different in Nigeria. After the sting of the pandemic, bouncing back is all that matters to governments and other facets of human endeavor. To expand access to livelihood support and food security services, the Nigeria COVID-19 Action, Recovery and Economic Stimulus (NGCARES) was initiated to support the poor, vulnerable households and firms. The takeoff of the second round of the program in Ondo State is the essence of this stakeholders meeting, involving the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Economic Planning and Budget, as well as officials from Akure South local government area.
They are trying to encourage women, but even in as much as that, there is also the encouragement of youth. So there will be a sort of priority.
The stakeholders deliberated on strategies that contributed to the success of the first round of the Ondo CARES program, with a view to strengthening the process.
The first tranche was done last year, and now we are starting the sensitization for the second tranche. And hopefully, in many of the local governments in the state, we have moved around to sensitize people on the issue, and people are now coming out and know the effect of this and what the government has been doing on their behalf. Already this thing is built on those existing organizations with platforms that are already put in place, and Ondo State Ministry of Commerce and Industry is one of those platforms, and we are given such benefits.
For the Ondo State Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperative Services, Akinwumi Sowore, due diligence for sustained success of the program remains a priority. Sowore noted that 110 million naira will be disbursed to selected beneficiaries through the Bank of Industry.
The World Bank has designed and defined how the program will commence. And at the level of our ministry here, which is one of the DLIs, that is the platform for the action plan, we have the directive from the program generally that the sum of money allocated to our office here, our ministry here, to take care of close to about 270 beneficiaries. And the program has some stages which we have almost complied with. The sensitization, the town hall meeting, the advertisement for qualification of those who will be beneficiaries. So I think we have completed almost 3 stages.
The chairman, Accra South Local Government Area, Mr. Gbenga Olaniyi, who was represented by Mr. Adetono Aderoboye, pledged the commitment of the council area to the full implementation of the Ondo Cares program.
We are all aware of the impacts of the COVID-19 on the vulnerable people in the society, particularly the artisans and the disabled people who were really affected by COVID-19. This program, no doubt, will ensure that their situation is well addressed.
The Ondo State project, tagged Ondo Cares, is part of the NG Cares project, which is a 2-year emergency intervention program designed by the World Bank in collaboration with the Nigeria Governors Forum to support states in Nigeria to restore the livelihood of poor and vulnerable households, stabilize micro and small enterprises affected by COVID-19 pandemic in recent years. Sahid Aribisala, OSRC News.
The Ondo State chapter of the National Council for Women Societies has prayed for the quick recovery of Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. The Women's Society, in a statement by its president Oluwakemi Odushola, urged citizens of the state to pray for perfect healing for the governor to resume soonest and continue with providing good governance for the people of the state. The HCWS president charged members of the State Executive Council, the judiciary and the parliamentary arms of government to cooperate with the acting governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, to ensure the smooth running of the state and ensure peaceful coexistence. Mrs. Odushola, in the statement, also urged all Nigerians to eschew violence that will cause a setback to the people and the nation, adding that it is important citizens cooperate with the government of the day to promote good governance. A group of proactive youths, Southern Youths Assembly of Nigeria, SYAN, has called on President Bola Tinubu to put those who stood up for his emergence as Nigerian president into consideration while choosing his cabinet. Spokesperson of the forum in Ondo State, David Aladesomi, at a press conference held at the NUJ Press Center in Akure, the Ondo State capital, said SYAN will continue to support progressive citizens. Omoriola Khumbeji has details.
We are supporting personalities.
Southern Youths Assembly of Nigeria, SYAN, is a pressure group working towards good governance, better Nigeria, and youth development. The group is currently in 17 states, Ondo inclusive, with the motto, Build the Youth, Build the Nation.
Build the youth, build the nation.
Spokesperson of the association, David Aladesomi, congratulated the new administration led by President Bola Tinubu, lawmakers both at the national and state level. He encouraged the president to surround himself with people who dedicated their lives and resources towards the success of the 2023 general elections, since they understand his concepts of his governance.
SYAN called on His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to remember faithful party, deserve a national honor and ministerial leave. Most importantly, Nigerian Southern youth are calling on His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a matter of urgency. Remember the support groups, prayer groups, and union who suffered a lot for his emergence during support group registration before election and after electionary process.
Mr. Aladesomi expressed gratitude to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu for leading Southern governors and the right path to produce President Tinubu, and a philanthropist from a federal local government area of Ondo State, Dr. Victor Oritedi, whom he said played a major role in the elections. He assured that SYAN will henceforth play a major role in governance to better the lives of youths and Nigerians in general.
In synergy with the national body of National Association of Ondo State Students, NAOS, SYAN Ondo State National Representative, through our spokesperson, Honorable Engineer David Aladesomi, Mr. Kushele, mandates are very clear, and we shall carry all youth and students in the states along in this assembly and our administration. On this mandate, Ondo youth shall stand for good governance and for the interests of all Ondo State youths.
Other members of the forum, including National Assistant Secretary of Jagaban Shettima Students Movement, Nuren Akonji, urged the youth to always hold politicians accountable.
One of the problems that we're having in this country is the issue of psychophancy. We have people that are close to the leader but fail to tell them that this thing they are doing is wrong. But as it is that people are willing to partake, people are willing to participate, people are willing to talk, we are going to achieve a better Nigeria with that.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Adekunle Tinubu is a well-known leader all over the universe, and he has already reaped what he has sowed long ago, because he's a man to follow. He's a man that have built many leaders and brought up many youths to become leader in this great country.
They called on youths in Ondo State to show more interest in politics and governance. Omoniola Ngbeji, Osrc News.
The Defense Headquarters has given top officers who are seniors to the newly appointed service chiefs till Monday, 3rd July, to voluntarily retire from service. The order, which was contained in the memo by the Chief of Defense Staff, was directed to generals, brigadier general, air vice marshals, and rear admirals in the Nigerian Army, Air Force, and Nigerian Navy, who were senior to the new service chiefs. The retirement of the senior officers across the three services was in line with a long-standing military tradition, but officers who were senior to the service chiefs would be retired. President Tinubu had announced the immediate retirement of General Lucky Rabo, who was the chief of defense staff, the chief of army staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, the chief of naval staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, and Air Marshal Oludayo Amao, the chief of air staff, and replaced them with new military chiefs. In the meantime, the immediate past chief of defense staff, General Lucky Rabo, says providing security for a diverse country like Nigeria is not an easy task, but insists it is not an impossible one to achieve. He said this in his valedictory speech during the polling out ceremony organized for him at the Mogadishu cantonment in Abuja. Rabo, who said the debts the country owes to men and women who serve in the armed forces cannot be paid fully, expressed satisfaction with his service in the military, saying that he is leaving the armed forces today bigger and stronger than he met it. The former defense chief also appealed to citizens not to engage in acts that can undermine the Nigerian military, saying the military stands as a beacon of hope, unity, and stability that must be protected. He expressed optimism in the ability of his successor to beat the record set so far in the armed forces. Rabo was appointed as the Chief of Defense Staff by former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2021, replacing General Abayomi Olonishakin. However, his tenure as a defense chief came to an end on June 19 this year, when President Tinubu replaced all the incumbent service chiefs and replaced them with new ones. Now, the Nigeria Police Force (NPF) says the Acting Inspector General of Police Olukayode Egbetokun's order to withdraw Police Mobile First (PMF) personnel from very important persons (VIPs) and establish a special intervention squad should not be taken as a plan that would go unexecuted as many before now. In a statement by its spokesman Olumiyiwa Adejobi, the force said that unlike previous announcements that often was unattended to, the acting IGP Egbetokun's approach involves the formation of a committee to guide the process and explore the use of professional officers, aligning with the provisions of the Police Act 2020. According to the statement, this committee, led by the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, will ensure a seamless withdrawal process. Adejobi stressed that this shift signifies a significant departure and promotes a safer Nigeria. You're still watching Osrc News at 7. We'll take a break now. Do stay with us.
Take it from me, the mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, you reach where others can't.
Coffee!
Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street. And when you play,
I did beat the guy. We'll see about that.
It's like traveling the world without moving an inch.
Is that Toby in your room?
You can download in the blink of an eye in 4K.
Go, go.
And when you go for your dreams, it's like running with the strength of 3 nations behind you.
Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
Have you heard? Momo is turning 12 people who refer the highest number of friends into millionaires in the Momo Refer and Win promo. There is also over 200 million naira up for grabs. How do you win? Dial *671# to open a Momo account if you don't have one. Then select option 6 to refer everyone you know. Yes, I said everyone, because everyone deserves to be a millionaire. Make sure the person you refer opens a Momo account and buys airtime or data of at least 100 naira. The more people you refer, the more cash prizes you win every week, and you increase your chance of becoming a millionaire in the Momo Refer and Win promo. Promo runs from 15th June to 9th August 2023. Momo, better than cash.
Èmi ló kàn.
Agbọ́dọ̀ ti gbélé àpòmọ̀dé. Èmi mà ní ìrẹ́kọ̀.
Àjọ nílé nínú ọdún táwa yìí.
Èmi ló kàn. Tí mara lè mọ́lẹ̀ nínú ọdún táwa yìí. Èmi ló kàn. Tí màá ṣe lé ńlá nínú ọdún táwa yìí. Èmi ló kàn. Nínú olórí rẹ̀ tó máa gbàgbọ́ ọdún. Èmi ló kàn.
Tó máa di láńlọ́ọ̀dù tá a nílé lórí.
Èmi ló kàn. Tó máa jàǹfààní 30% discount. Èmi ló kàn.
Oh yes, it's your turn to become a landlord this Ilia season. Take advantage of the Adon Homes Super Salah promo and enjoy 30% discount on all estates. Get 2 big rams and other exciting gift items when you subscribe.
Win an all-expense-paid trip to Disneyland in the Indomie Golden Magnet promo. To participate, just buy the Indomie 70-gram pack and look for the magnet inside. Log into www.indomie.ng/Golden Magnet promo to fill in your details and enter your unique magnet code. All the Golden Magnet winners will get to experience the wonders of Disneyland. Silver Magnet winners stand a chance to win amazing prizes. Every pack of Indomie you buy comes with your favorite Indomitable magnet. Terms and conditions apply. Indomie, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Sound health is considered to be the greatest wealth and assets. That is why Ondo State Government has made access to quality healthcare for all residents through an efficient and affordable health insurance scheme a priority. The entire staff and management of the Ondo State Contributory Health Commission on this occasion of our 4th anniversary of operation wishes to thank all enrollees and stakeholders for their support all through the years. We hereby pledge not to rest on our oars until every resident of the Sunshine State is covered under the health insurance scheme. Ondo State Contributory Health Scheme. NairaWise Health Smarts.
You're welcome back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. Nigerians have expressed divergent views over the policy of the federal government banning pupils who are not up to 11 years from sitting for the National Common Entrance Examination conducted by the National Examination Council (NECO) for admission into Unity colleges. The federal government had given the directive recently in Abuja during the conduct of a 2023 common entrance examination into the 110 federal government colleges across the federation. Osrc's Sahid Aribisala has the report.
Recently, the federal government said underage children would no longer be allowed to participate in the National Common Entrance Examination conducted by the National Examination Council (NECO) for admission into Unity colleges nationwide. The government told the examination body to deploy strict measures to stop underage pupils from registering for the examination, adding that birth certificate would be compulsory for registration. It said to get into secondary school, a candidate should be at least 12 years and that a pupil could be 11 plus during the examination, and by the time of admission, such a person would have attained the age 12. The move has, however, generated reactions, pitching Nigerians to different ends. While some see it as a welcome development which will ensure that children cope well enough with the rigors of learning at the secondary school level, Deputy National President, National Parent Teachers Association of Nigeria, Adeolu Ogunbanjo, appealed to the federal government to reduce the age to 10. Some Nigerians are also of the opinion that the age limit be removed considering the changing dynamics in child's development.
Government policy decisions are usually things that should be well considered before they are made. And so I want to believe that they consider this very well before they made that decision. It has to be the issue of the mental age and the ability to be able to cope with the rigors of learning. If a child gets to the school when he's immature, he will not be able to cope. And it will affect the productivity of that child. And then the parent that is in a hurry and wants his child to go very fast, when the child repeats the class, you have gained nothing. So it's good for children to follow their natural development in education.
For me, I think this will deprive those brilliant young chaps from attaining greater heights on time. Because when you leave the nursery school, we have some of them at the age of 16, they are already done with JAMB, they are done with whatever they want to do, and they can secure admission. And I think by the records of JAMB, and even most higher institutions of learning, they still admit students that are within 16 years old. So for me, I don't think it is a good thing, and I will urge the federal government to look at it critically so that the students, the parents, and they get buy-in from these parents and also their contributions.
I believe when a child is at the age of 12 or 13, that child is capable of finishing secondary school and do his WAEC or whatsoever or NECO before he graduate from secondary school.
Many agree that education is not about passing exams, but the entire gamut of teaching, learning, and character formation. Synergy between parents and guardians at schools will enhance overall growth of children. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities has rejected the core curriculum minimum academic standards prepared by the National Universities Commission. The union said it was a threat to quality in university education and an erosion of powers of the University Senate in Nigerian universities. A statement by ASU's National President, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, explains that it was inexplicable that NUC prepackaged 70% CCMAS contents were being imposed on the Nigerian university system, noting that the University Senate, who are statutorily responsible for academic program development, were left to work on only 30%. ASU advised the NUC to encourage universities, as currently been done by the University of Ibadan, to propose innovations for the review of their programs. A bill to establish the National Council of Christian Education has been rejected by the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria. The Catholic bishops argued that the proposed law violates sections 10 and 42, subsection 3 of Nigeria's constitution. The bishops tasked the Christian Association of Nigeria, which originally pushed for the bill at the National Assembly to promote legislation that decisively addresses unprovoked attacks on Christians in the North, among others, rather than promoting a bill that violates the secular character of Nigeria. The CBCN, in a statement by its president, Archbishop Lichius Ugoji, said the bill made no exemption for seminaries and other religious institutes owned by the various Christian denominations across the federation, claiming that it infringed on the rights to provide instructions and formation according to their respective doctrines, citing Section 42, Subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution. Although state pilgrims to this year's Hajj in Saudi Arabia have made their way back to the Grand Mosque in Mecca for the farewell circumambulation, which marks the climax of the spiritual exercise, the pilgrims who had earlier joined the fellow faithful across the Islamic world on Tuesday at the plains of Mount Arafat equally performed the symbolic stoning of the devil at Jamar. Led in the farewell procession around the Kaaba, the unified edifice which Muslims face in their daily obligatory prayers, by the chairman of the State Muslim Welfare Board, Alhaji Dhikrullah Adam Chandi, the pilgrims later gathered to intercede before Allah for divine guidance as well as protection for the leadership of the Sunshine State and the country in general. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says it will soon update Nigerians on the final decision on the suspended Adamawa State Resident Electoral Commissioner (REC) Hudu Yunusa Ari. The suspended REC Yunusa Ari caused controversy in the country when it declared Aisha Binani the winner of the Adamawa governorship run election in April without the conclusion of the electoral process. His action was immediately declared null and void by the INEC headquarters and was later arrested by the police. INEC spokesman Festus Okoye said the police have concluded investigations of the matter and said the commission will soon make its position known to Nigerians. And now to the foreign scene. The United Nations Security Council is set to end its peacekeeping mission in Mali. Mali has accused peacekeepers of increasing tensions and wants them to leave.
It's the Malian forces and their partners, the white-skinned ones, who attacked us. I was terrified. They set our homes and villages alight.
The UN peacekeeping mission is the problem by fueling ethnic and communal tensions exacerbated by serious allegations.
The situation is bad. Before we thought armed groups were the threat, but now it's the Malian army and its partners that we're scared of.
We really don't know who to trust, but it's not in our interest for the peacekeepers to leave. They help us survive. We can't do without them.
And now to sports. The Interim Management Committee of the League has announced that the 2023-2024 Nigeria Professional Football League season will commence on the last weekend of August. The abridged 2022-2023 season ended earlier this month with Eyimba winning their 9th league title at the Super 6 playoffs in Lagos. The IMC also announced that clubs should begin the process of club licensing. The NPFL transfer window will also open tomorrow, July 1st, and close on September 1, 2023. And still on sports, FIFA has released the pots for the African draws ahead of the qualification series for the 2026 World Cup, which will be co-hosted by Canada, Mexico, and the United States. Nigeria is in Pot 1 alongside Senegal, Tunisia, Morocco, Cameroon, Algeria, Egypt, and Mali. The group draw will be conducted on July 12, 2023. All the countries will be drawn into 9 groups of 6 teams, with all the group winners qualifying for the tournament. The 4 best teams that finish in second place will compete in a mini tournament, and the winner will qualify for an intercontinental playoff. The Super Eagles were absent at last World Cup in Qatar after they lost out to the Black Stars of Ghana in the playoffs. And now Nigeria has moved up a place in the latest FIFA men's rankings for June. The The Super Eagles, who were ranked 40th in the world in the ranking released in May, gained 6 points and moved to 39th. The Eagles' rise in the rankings was largely due to their impressive performance in the recent Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Sierra Leone in the month under review. The win also saw them book a spot at next year's AFCON, bid to hold in Ivory Coast. On the African continent, the three-time African champions remain in the top 6, which is a big boost for them, as it means they will be among the top seeds when the AFCON draw is conducted later this year. And just before we go, another look at the major stories. The Ondo State government is engaged stakeholders for a successful implementation of the second phase of the NCARES program. Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperative Services, Akinwumi Sowore, said success of the program remains priority. And women groups in Ondo State under the umbrella of National Council for Women Societies have sought more prayers for the quick recovery of Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. We brought to you by the Academic Staff Union of Universities has rejected the core curriculum minimum academic standards prepared by the National Union Universities Commission. We told you that the United Nations Security Council is set to vote against a peacekeeping mission to Mali. Mali has accused the peacekeepers of aggravating tensions and wants them to leave. And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.